Hello and welcome to LedgerCast. My name is Brian Krogsgaard. I'm here with Josh Olsowich. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Brian. How's it going?
It's going well. Hey, before we even get started, I want to introduce the fact that we have a brand new sponsor. That's right. You heard me. We have a sponsor for the show. It's Matcha. Go to ledgerstatus.com/matcha, MATCHA, and check it out. You know, Matcha takes advantage of all this DEX stuff, except it makes it super, super easy. You can trade curated assets that they have, and it's a really nice interface. And they're an aggregator of all of the pools. So whether it's Uniswap, SushiSwap, or any of these other places, Matcha takes care of that for you, and they offer you fantastic liquidity, and you can ensure that you're buying the right thing rather than all of these individual tokens. They're building a whole bunch of new stuff into it all the time. I'm really excited to have a new partner for the show, Josh. It's Matcha. It's built by the folks of the 0x protocol. We're really proud to have them on board. Go to ledgerstatus.com/matcha. We need you to hit that link to let them know that you came from us. I've been trading on this bad boy, and it's pretty slick, man. I've really been enjoying it. Great product, great team. We've been following them for a long time. Thanks for coming on board with us on LedgerCast, to the folks at 0x Protocol and the Matcha product in particular. Check out Matcha. Go trade it. Instead of, next time you are tempted to go direct to Uniswap, see if you can get lower slippage on Matcha. Josh, what's up, man?
Yeah, I checked out Matcha the other day before any of the sponsorship stuff, and they basically stupid-proof trading for people.
Oh, yeah. It's, I mean, especially when I'm trading like Wi-Fi or one of the ones where the pools were going nuts, and it's like hundreds of millions of dollars of liquidity is changing which place it's at. Matcha really helped me with that. And they kind of show you like, hey, you're getting 35% of this from SushiSwap, and another 35% from Uniswap, and another from Balancer. And they do all that on the back end. And they're doing a lot of stuff. I mean, this team, of all of these protocol teams, the 0x protocol folks have been doing it for a long time. We've been talking about them since 2017 on this
And they
show.
should be the most ready of anybody, right?
Yeah, for sure.
To like do this.
For sure.
I didn't realize Uniswap came out in like 2018.
Yeah. I
was
remember
trying to figure out
listening
when.
to, there was a Laura Shin episode about it, and I remember listening to an interview with the founder of Uniswap when there was no interface for it yet. It was just code, smart contract, and I found it fascinating back then. We should have gotten in on it back then.
I mean, with anything, like you don't expect insane returns on a nothing product at the time, right?
Yeah,
like it was an idea without a network, but really the network is what makes it valuable.
Right. And the stuff, this is kind of what I missed out on, is the stuff that was the engine for some of this, your REN BTC, for example, or, getting price quotes, which finally makes sense to me with what Chainlink does. Some of the underlying product protocols and stuff, that's what starts to, like, people were understanding then, and that's what kind of led those fundamental drives in price. That we didn't connect with, and we missed some of those moves in the degree of importance. And now those are coming to reality, and maybe that's why the Link trade is over, as you hinted. The realization of Link's technology is now in the world. Is that a top thing? Sell the news type of thing?
I mean, it just depends if DEXs continue to thrive, which we both want them to. I just don't think they will at the end of the day.
See, I think
because again, I said this every podcast. I say this all the time, but right now it's all about regulatory arbitrage. We can list whatever you want. People can trade it from anywhere in the world. Like, this is how trading anything should be theoretically, but it's not reality. There's this regulatory moat keeping people from listing stuff or getting funding for projects, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't think, I think DEXs are here to stay now. I think we're seeing the realization of how they can be used well. For instance, order books were just not as successful. I mean, our new sponsor, Matcha, they are now going through these liquidity providers rather than their early relayers that they used to do. They were a more traditional order book and stuff. And when you have an order book that doesn't really have liquidity, it just makes it harder versus if you have these liquidity pools that make the liquidity conversation simpler for your everyday trader to make it kind of the, to use a cliche, like a more Robin Hood type experience or whatever, just simpler.
Oh, it's not a cliche. The more, if you stupid proof something and it becomes popular, I
Right.
mean,
And
literally everybody's using it.
And I think this is a blend of that, right? Because the stupid proofingness of it is like, hey, I want to buy $1,000 worth, press this button. The hard part is still like you're using MetaMask and you're using a hardware wallet and things like that. So there's still things that are a challenge, but I think we're going to continue to see evolutions of the DEX to really threaten centralized exchanges. There'll be a role for both, like derivatives, for example. I don't know that derivatives are going to work well on a DEX for quite some time. But I think for a lot of people, this will be the easiest path. I think this will be the path of least resistance for a while.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, when after this, I took Link out of log because it just helps you see things. When you have a move that goes from 8 to 20 in a week or two, the trade is over on Link for now. Like it can have a revenge bump. It could go to $15. But this is the type of thing you see in a market cycle of something that it went to the moon, guys. Look. February 2019, 45 cents. What was it? Yeah, that's about the lowest I have it on the Binance chart, but investors got it even less. So congrats. Like you did the thing. You got your 4,000% gain if you hodled the whole time. Now if I'm a linker, I'm selling pumps if it's taking me time to get out, like I'm not hanging around for this. And the trade is moving on. It's moving elsewhere. The rotation game is on to the Wi-Fi's, to the unis, the new hotness, the latest
Ponzi on the block.
Whoa. You say Ponzi, sir. I do not.
That's fine. I'll be the heel. I'll happily be the heel.
I think it's a question of whether there's value in governance. And, we were debating it a little bit before we started the official recording, but I think there can be value in governance if the governance decisions bring back value to token holders. So on Uniswap, if you provide a percentage of fees, for example, and there's $500 million of volume, what's the math on this, Josh? Let's do a little math. Let's say $500 million. Let's say there's it's a 0.3%, right? So that's 0.003. That's $1.5 million in fees, okay? But what if 10% of that goes to token holders? That's $150,000 in fees that could go to token holders. So now you are presenting value to UNI token holders. Now, how does that translate to the value of the coin? Does it give you this price to earnings concept that a lot of the DeFi folks are trying to present to these tokens? Maybe, but that's something that you can literally put numbers to. And that was hard to do for a long time. Like you talk about fundamentals of a coin and all that kind of stuff. Like it wasn't easy to assign some kind of fundamental valuation from a monetary standpoint. Even in Bitcoin, we talk about things why we believe it's valuable, but it's not like we're saying here's revenue that you get from holding this sucker.
What do they call that? A yield-bearing asset?
Yeah, it's a yield.
Is that right?
It's a yield-bearing asset, and it's a revenue-generating asset. That is a pretty novel concept in the world of cryptocurrencies because it's always been value via speculation, right? Due to scarcity and network value.
I mean, we can talk about staking. We can talk about lending. We can talk about
but this is due to a network activity. The activity of trading, turns into a fee that goes to token holders.
You're talking about revenue share, which
yeah,
based on my limited knowledge of anything, is also a security. I don't care. Again, I don't care if it's a security. but the regulators somewhere in the world might care it's a security.
Obviously, Coinbase Legal did their due diligence in the 12 hours between when Uni was launched and when it ended up on Coinbase. According to the token listing framework or whatever, whatever they call it, clearly they did the hard work there, Josh, and therefore Uni cannot be a security. It's obviously not centralized in any capacity, no matter what percentage is allocated to the team and investors in the Uniswap protocol company, whatever that means. I don't know. Just saying. What do you think about that? What do you think about the fact that this thing got listed instantly everywhere?
That's impressive.
Pure
it has
FOMO,
to be, right?
great organization. What do you think?
Well, I thought it was interesting that the centralized exchanges listed the DEX governance token so fast they were stumbling over themselves, It's like it's a weird combination of factors because you're sort of incentivizing your own death if you're promoting a DEX, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought was the weirdest part.
Yeah. I don't know.
Everybody's at this point, everyone's just trying to list anything they can to get fees. Like, let's be real. They don't care.
There's a fee race going on right now for sure.
They don't care about anything or anyone. All they care about is fees. Ask Coinbase. Ask CZ. Ask OKEX. That is the bottom line. If you think any exchange cares about you or the community, man, I have a governance token to sell you.
And plenty of people have governance tokens to sell you. We're seeing that, aren't we? I mean,
yeah, and we're gonna get more. We're gonna get 1inch, their governance token.
Yeah.
Zapper, any DEX with half a brain is gonna list a governance token now.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about 1inch's token and Mooniswap in the video that I did about the Uni token, and I think what is interesting about Uniswap is they took the primary thing everybody complained about, the impermanent loss that you get by pooling because you're losing out on, the lack of efficiency being a liquidity provider. You're essentially the least efficient person in the trade, right? The arbitrageurs and the traders are able to take advantage of the fact that you're just sitting there. So the reward via governance token and whatever else is what makes this work for those folks. And now Uniswap took that one thing that everybody said, well, that doesn't work on Uniswap, and they said, well, here we go. There's a token now. So like, does it diminish the capacity for these others to succeed because Uniswap has the name, the network effects? It's the Bitcoin of swaps, It's got all the jams.
I don't think so, because everyone's looking for the next best thing. And a week from now, when the next governance token gets listed, I think it'll be just as popular. The volume will be just as great. It'll be listed just everywhere like it on Uni was.
So so in your mind, you're saying the aggregators are the winners there, like our new sponsor Matcha. Like if you aggregate the liquidity and you make the trading experience easy, then they're the winner.
In this moment, yes. Ask me a month from now, and I might change my tune. But in this moment, people are just frothing at the froth to get a hold of any of this stuff.
Frothing at the froth. Yeah, I mean, certainly the valuations, like, you got to be careful. I mean, there's 1 billion Uni tokens, so as they're not all distributed, and some are actually lost, interestingly, because they sent 400 to any wallet that's interacted with Uniswap.org. So if you've made a trade on the Uniswap exchange, you have 400 tokens in some wallet. So if you don't know that, you should go check. We'll put the link to the blog post in the show notes, and then you can go and connect your wallet to the right site and check all that out. I think half of them have been claimed already, which is really quick. But anyway, so they're 1 billion tokens overall, but it's a 4-year schedule for a lot of them. So the circulating supply is 100 million almost. So about 10% of this thing is circulating. So it looks like the market cap is maybe $700 million, when in reality, for the fully distributed market cap, it's over $7 billion. And if you equate that to the complete supply of Binance, I think theirs is like $5 billion right now. So Uniswap fully distributed is larger than Binance already. So maybe it's a little
Well,
high right now.
but Binance isn't a governance token, right?
It's not. And I think actually there is a case for the winning decentralized trading protocol to actually singularly be more valuable than any centralized exchange, I think.
This reminds me of the conversation with ZRX for years, which was anybody who disagrees with the decision on ZRX is just going to
They can
fork it.
fork it or not use it, whatever. And I think that was some of the issue with ZRX's token valuation back in the day anyway, was trying to determine like what did a relayer need ZRX for? So they've been having to figure all that stuff out. It's like, what is the token going to be used for? What is the value of governance? And a lot of those conversations are being repeated now. Like, and we'll find out if there was value or not. But I think when you consider some of the fees and rewards and things that can be reallocated to token holders, that certainly makes it a more interesting conversation than when it was just like the ability to use our code to launch your relayer or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I like how the token came after the network effect. I think that was ZRX's mistake, if among many, but specifically that, like, to create the network, at least show that people are using it, because then there's this like continuous effect, like we're seeing now, where all these people are on Uniswap, they drop a token. People who aren't on Uniswap want to get on Uniswap. People who don't have the token want to get the token. They think it's valuable, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like it doesn't end, right? It just keeps going and going and going until it explodes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it has to just outright explode, although we have seen some of these tokens so far. Like if we look at Cream, for example, which I can pull up, but I mean, some of these have Eiffel Towered big time.
And I guess I agree, it doesn't have to explode, but if it doesn't explode, that would be surprising.
If everything doesn't kind of connect the dots in terms of how it all works out, then it can get really ugly really quickly. And I think what we ran into so far, like on Cream, their products are pretty cool. You know, they've got these lending products and they've got the stuff that you can do, but the inflation that is where these like really large APYs came from. The inflation was so extreme that once it broke down, it was just game over. I mean, this thing from top to bottom went down 80%. It's still down 73%. So like trying to determine, okay, well, what is the value of the token that I'm being rewarded here? That's the hard question. So like, I think we had this time, Chris Bernisk or whatever his name is, like he did these like, here's how we establish, what were those fat protocol thesis and fat protocol valuations. And we're going to have to do some of that stuff again, is try to say like, okay, what is the fundamental thesis for a token value today in this world where we're trying to make governance work again, and the things that you can do through governance, whether it's lending and borrowing and how the fees are paid for that, and rewarding liquidity providers and fueling fees back to them, and this kind of stuff, to say, is that what can be done there? How do we value it? And right now, like you said, you don't like trading these new tokens, but brand new tokens, and we're seeing things go $15 to $300 and back again, makes for exciting trading, but potentially devastating if you're approaching it as a buy and hold, and depending on where you made the buy, it could be pretty nasty.
Yeah, and I think for me, like, a governance token doesn't have value until there's a dispute and there's
To see
skin in
how
the
governance
game,
works.
and then it's sorted out. Like, that's where the governance is valuable. Like, if we're talking about SegWit and the user activated soft fork, like, to me, that's when the network became valuable, because there was a clear example of a dispute that was settled.
Yeah.
So like the Uniswap stuff, SushiSwap is just the fork of Uniswap, right?
Yep.
So you'd expect to see more forks of Uniswap. And if a competitor does something better or is able to create a bigger network effect, which probably won't happen, but if that happens, like, shouldn't Uni just be worth zero at that point?
I don't know. I think the network effects are important depending on how important it is to interface with the network. In the chat, they're talking about people made these arguments about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a brand, and the network value is in large part associated due to the brand. The Bitcoin code has been forked hundreds or thousands of times. The network effects of people using the Bitcoin version because it's Bitcoin is what's valuable. The question is, will that be a thing with Sushi and Uni and elsewhere? Like, will people only provide liquidity on the Uniswap one because of a certain reason? You know, like because of the way the token valuations come back and the way the metrics work, the way the rewards work, the legitimacy of the governance system, the fair distribution of the coins. How does all that play into one being valuable versus the other? Or will liquidity constantly be jumping back and forth between them based on whoever can squeeze out the greatest reward and just, you know, squeeze as much value as they can and then peace out? And then you constantly, I feel like, would have these kind of Eiffel Tower situations, right?
Yeah, I mean, people at the end of the day, people could care less about governance as long as they're getting paid, right? So as long as the rev share is there, then what do I care what the DEX does, right?
Unless there's some way to sustain it over time, you know, like, and maybe that's what'll happen too, is their governance will include like time locking it for, you know, right now they say time locked value or time value locked. What's it called? TVL.
TVL, yeah.
Well, what if one of the governance mechanisms is, hey, you have to leave your liquidity there for 30 days. How's that adjust the volatility of the liquidity and the coin itself? You know, like some of that would be tough for some of these people. They're trying to pull coins and jump from one to the other, and you're making a decision to do it for 30 days.
Yeah, but I just thought like there's no greater good here for me. It's just like completely selfish of everything. Like if I'm a holder of this stuff, all I care about is trying to increase the value or use for the governance token. I could, at the end of the day, if it destroys like something for a user, like what do I care, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm too pessimistic. Maybe you're not realistic enough. I don't know. Somewhere in between.
Yeah, maybe somewhere in between.
We'll find out, right?
What we do know right now is that corn is looking heavy, aligning with stocks. Bitcoin down to 10.8 right now. We topped out this week at 11K. Do you think this was just a bearish retest? It certainly could be. You could make the case. Just draw a line at $11,100, and it looks like we just tapped the underside of a breakdown, right?
Yeah, what I was saying this week on the Twitter, sorry, was we're still in the cloud as far as like with the trades I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm. I want to pull your chart up for this.
So until we're cleanly above or below the cloud, like cloud rules state that we could just go anywhere at this point. But until a decision is made, up or down, I'm expecting up, but it could be down. Then you're not really safe in either direction. That's just cloud rules. Cloud 101.
We have not gotten the TK cross in a bullish manner, which you wouldn't expect to occur until we clear that top circle. What price is that where you're guesstimating we'd actually get that confirmation?
So 10.8 to 11.2, like so the TK cross is bullish right now, but it will go bearish if we go lower. What I want to happen is price to go above cloud, then the TK cross to go bullish again.
Yeah, you want there to be some space separation between the Tinkin and Kijun there.
Yeah. Clean confluence, clean entry. It's just stupid simple, stupid proof it. Like Matcha, our sponsor. Just stupid proof the entry because at that point, then it's just easy mode.
In addition to the Tinkin and the Kijun being close, the cloud is narrowed, the price is right at all that stuff. So we're basically in junk territory of indecision in your mind.
Yeah. And the other thing I was looking at too is this volume keeps declining, at least on Stamp. I don't know how it looks elsewhere, but
I think it's pretty similar across the board. I'm looking at a couple of derivatives charts that are similar.
And some of this is related to what's going on with Uni and other stuff right now as well, the volume on BTC. But
if all the activity is on hyped up altcoins, then Bitcoin sideways is more likely because people are, as long as it doesn't break down, they're just kind of they're in and out of Bitcoin in other trades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you put a harmonic on there. Are you going to talk about that or not?
I mean, it was from the other day. I don't know. I don't really understand harmonics too
I'm not
much,
in
but
love with it.
no. So ETH is the same thing to me. Like it's just ranging. I think it needs time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think anything is gonna just have this speedy breakdown. We can even lump legacy in with that. I think there's so much, so much ability to buy the dip, and then there's on the crypto side, there's so much general excitement for the market that I think that the likelihood is we just kind of carry on sideways and let long-term moving averages catch up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have $1 billion USD locked in WBTC.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. That's a fun topic. By the way, we got a correction in the chat by MHA Telex. Total value locked. I wanted to say time, but it's total value locked on these coins. So if we go to DeFi Pulse and we look at what's locked where, WBTC is number 5 on the list, $774 million locked up in USD. I've seen different Bitcoiner folks and others, take issue with this. Some saying like it's just people are just putting their Bitcoin at risk, or various arguments. What are your thoughts on this? I have a couple, but I want yours.
And of course, you're putting stuff at risk anytime you put it in a smart contract. But if you're putting it somewhere to use it somewhere else, which is what they're doing, either for yields or yield bearing asset, basically they're turning BTC into a yield bearing asset. That's my read on it.
Yeah, I think it's also it's someone signaling, hey, I want to participate in this ecosystem, but I want my value in Bitcoin whenever possible. So it feels to me not that it's a cheap layer 2, but it's almost like similar to a Lightning Network concept where instead of with Lightning, it's more like we're doing it for convenience or speed or something. With Ethereum, we're doing it for activity purposes because there's activity occurring over here, and it just kind of reiterates to me that gold is the main. It's like the vault, or not gold. I said gold. It's like Bitcoin is like the vault. It's where your value exists, and when you need access to that value to put to work somewhere, WBTC or RenBTC, those are avenues to do so.
I personally don't see anything wrong with that. Like if you don't like it, just don't participate.
Don't do it. Yeah, keep your Bitcoin where it is.
You can tell people it's risky. You can tell people it's stupid, but at the end of the day, what do you care, right? Like,
yeah.
So like the Bitcoins get locked forever. Great, your Bitcoin value goes up. It's
right.
Like, what's the risk here? The risk is that it gets hacked and everybody loses everything on
these
WBTC.
These WBTC in particular, I don't know the details for RenBTC, but WBTC is essentially collateralized by BitGo, right?
I'm not sure. I don't know how BitGo's involved.
I'm pretty sure it's BitGo that's essentially providing the custody for WBTC, which isn't too different from if you have other custody solutions. Like you're trusting them somewhere. In this case, though, there's this automated component of it, right? Where you're
instead of a service like BitGo, you're trusting
you don't call somebody to manage your custodianship and have a contract or whatever else you do if you're a normal BitGo customer. You're just like hollering at a smart contract and saying, "Here we go." So if there's risk in that, I'm sure that thing's been audited like crazy. And honestly, if somebody was going to hack all this stuff, the big ones, this is their time, right?
Oh, for sure. But it's probably easier to hack this new stuff, which we're seeing, the BZRX or BZK, whatever it is.
Don't make me rant.
That stuff, I just feel like that's easier to if you're going to attack something, right? Like that's way easier to do.
Yeah, I think there are certain players that are being more irresponsible than others. I was excited about BZRX, and their activities have made me not excited. And so when I talked earlier about I don't think margin trading's there yet, like that's because they were the most interesting from a margin trading perspective, but they've been hacked 2 or 3 times, and their responses are horrible to it all. Like, and now
is hack the right word, or is just like sloppy code a problem?
No, they were
Because like it's like a minting bug that's happening, right?
They were, yeah, but the coins were actually stolen, and they recovered the coins this most recent time because they doxed the guy or person that stole them, and chased him down and threatened him with legal action, I guess. And the person returned the coins. This is as far as I could understand from the whole story, but.
Gotcha.
They banned me from their Telegram for asking questions, and I think their PR was an absolute disaster.
Always a good sign. Being
Yeah,
banned for asking questions.
and I wasn't like being disrespectful. I was trying to make clarity out of rumors that were out there because their tweets and stuff were just like funds recovered, funds Seifu, and I'm like, no, like that's not the story. And CoinDesk and others reported about that. It's like that's not what happened, and the way they handled it was piss poor. And their token is being valued accordingly because I was a customer of theirs. I was using it. I had I had lent BZRX and I'd even borrowed funds there to like test it out and try it. And then to be like concerned about their protocol and banned from Telegram when you're trying to get answers, screw them, like that is not the way you handle it. So,
yeah, I agree.
So yes, there's some low hanging fruit from the hack stuff, but my thing is just like I will not trust those protocols, and therefore the valuation of those tokens is inherently lower in my eyes at a minimum. And I imagine the market is going to, give those tokens a piece of their mind as well, which they're doing.
I agree. I agree with all points. All points I agree with. Have the ETH fees affected you at all?
They are very expensive.
I know you had mentioned an interesting point that the 400 uni sellers can't really make a profit because of fees right now or something.
Well, they could profit, but it would take a lot of time potentially to claim them. Like I knew smart people. What's that? What's the ETH fees website?
I'm just about to pull it up.
Okay. ETH gas station.
Oh, that's one of them.
So when this launched, people trying to claim their uni, they jumped fees by like 2 or 3x. And people that used like normal speed or something and MetaMask, and then it quickly changed the time frame. People's claims are going to take like 12 hours or more if they don't know how to adjust their speeds or cancel it and try again. And there's just a bunch of pending transactions. So yeah, that's had a part to do with it. In the end, I mean, you're getting like $1,200 as of yesterday's price. As of today's price, this is like $2,000 worth of free airdrop or whatever, and you can justify spending $40 on an Ethereum transaction to dump that. But on a general basis, that's still an insane fee, right? Like you're spending $40 to transact on the Ethereum network. That's crazy. If it's not,
yeah, but like the difference is it's negligible, right? Like if you got sent your $1,200 UBI check and had to pay $40 to deposit it, you still would.
yeah,
right? Like that isn't going to stop you.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's going to give you some pause. It's going to make you
pause,
upset.
a little salt, but overall you'll manage.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that ETH transactions per day actually hit a new all-time high.
Yeah,
yesterday, which is a bullish divergence for price because if network activity is insane, price should increase.
Yeah,
in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, activity is bullish, and
for sure,
there gets a point where it becomes difficult for people to manage on it, but the activity is still bullish. And you airdrop. It was 250,000 uni addresses, people that had interacted with Uniswap exchange, plus 49,000 liquidity pool providers. So let's say 300,000 addresses that all got dropped. 4 figures worth of US dollars, larger than the US government stimulus checks. So if that doesn't spur some activity on the network, I don't know what will. Right now, the way ETH gas station declares it is 414 GUI. Is it GUI? Is that how we pronounce it?
I have no idea. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know how to pronounce it.
Vitalics. That's the trader speed. So if you need to go fast, it's 414. I think I used like 650 GUI. We're getting recommendations on our pronunciation here. I used 650 to get mine. high IQ whale in the chat said they use 1,000 to get theirs. If you use, but when it's slow for people that aren't interacting on this stuff, you can use like 60 or 80. So that's how much it can change based on the network speed or lack thereof. So, I mean, that's obviously not ideal for a place you're going to trade. And honestly, I think if ETH 2.0 can't do it, and that's where I want to shift this chat to maybe, if scalability is not looking realistic for the Ethereum network on layer 1, surely either layer 2 is going to take over, or somebody will build a good enough bridge. Maybe it's like Serum from FTX, you know, the Solana stuff. Somebody's going to build a good enough bridge to actually move the activity somewhere where it's affordable, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter much as long as it can interact and it's like interoperable with stuff. That's another issue. Like if you create a moat and you want people to stay in your moat, but you also want other people to visit from other places, right? So like someone's talking about Binance Smart Chain. I don't know how interoperable all that stuff is.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like Tether. So Tether, you can put Tether anywhere, right? So Tether is exploding, right? Like that's that's the kind of thing you want to see.
But they're different tethers on different chains,
right?
And I do know somewhat in terms of the like Binance Smart Chain operability. Moving your code to, like, let's say I was running my DApp on Ethereum. Now I want to run it on Binance Smart Chain. That's easy, but you still have to get the users over there, right? So you need to make the process of a user saying, "Oh, I'm going to go buy something over there. I only have Ethereum." You need to make them be able to say, "Here's my Ethereum. Then now let me do your thing on Binance Smart Chain or anywhere else with the Ethereum virtual machine or EVM." It's kind of your keyword there. That's going to be able to run the same code or similar code, and quickly translate their DApp from Ethereum to something that can, run Solidity and use an Ethereum virtual machine. Is what all those chains do. That's what Binance Smart Chain does.
Right. So if I'm a user, like I don't care at the end of the day, right? Which chain it is.
Yeah, I don't think so. As long as it's easy to get back and forth.
Like like I'm bringing this up just because we're talking about, well, if you stupid proof trading like Matcha, like users don't care, like that's what as a user I want to see. I want to see ease of use, ease of access. Like MetaMask. MetaMask can talk to anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you have to set it up. Like, it's not stupid proof is a strong word because, people have to work at it to get it to make it function the way they want. It's not 100% stupid proof, but it's not impossible.
I think it's intuitive.
Yeah.
It's not obvious, but it's intuitive to people who have any sort of digital anything.
Yeah, I think that is a perfectly fair statement. And I don't know if that'll come to fruition or if people will just put up with it or if they'll just, what's happened so far is I've noticed people just slow down. It's like, okay, this stuff's interesting, but no, like I'm not going to spend $80 to make this transaction. Especially people that are like, I want to buy something with 1 ETH, or something like that. It's like you need to make 20% to break even one way. It's kind of dumb.
Well, that's been me with talking about fees again with Uphold and BAT. Like, so BAT sends us like $5 to $20 every month for just through whatever,
Yeah, people watching your videos on YouTube and stuff.
Right. And so like at the end of the day, it's not going to make or break me if I never reclaim that. But just the fact that the fees are so high on ETH right now that Uphold stopped subsidizing it. So now the like cost to remove your BAT from Uphold is basically the cost of what you receive in a single transaction. So it's just funny. And Coinbase also said that they're adding fees to their transactions.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's the way they said it on Twitter that was just so awkward and PR driven garbage. Like,
it's like, we're proud to announce that we're going to charge you your Ethereum network fees now.
It's just like, what do they think people are people that stupid where they're like, yeah, this is great? No, of course not. No matter how you say it to them,
Not to
Yeah,
mention from a pure time frame, like timing perspective, it's like this is when you want people on your platform, and you're telling them no. Um,
yeah.
I don't get it.
They didn't put like a ceiling on it either. So it's like, you'd think if someone's sending a large amount, they would decrease the fee or whatever. I don't know, like whatever. But yeah, it's just super weird. Everything about that is weird. Like I get it from a business perspective standpoint, but
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I don't know what to say about Coinbase. I think they might have some of the worst PR in the business.
I haven't used Coinbase for months at this point, and I'm glad I left months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, they're interesting to me. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I don't Josh, this uni short squeeze is on right now. Like it is insane.
Well, I
So
didn't even look. How's like Sushi doing and all the other tokens?
I think funds are essentially moving out of those because of how
What's
insane.
what's the uni sushi ratio look like?
We'd have to look that up, but
Or uni sushi if you want to be food centric about it.
I mean, uni is pressing $8 here, and I'm sadder by the minute for my spot position. But that's okay.
Another loser in all this is Tezos, which
Tezos
is
getting
like
squashed.
the least shiny rock among them because nothing's really going on with Tezos.
Yeah, well, I think
We talk about Link and like the rotation trade, but Tezos is like the I don't know, some metaphor that's appropriate, but um man, it's just getting hammered
yeah, it is for
for
sure.
really no reason, like specifically other than just like it's not where the party's happening right now.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is they are there for DApps, and the only DApp that anyone cares about right now is trading Ethereum tokens. So that sucks for Tezos people.
Yeah, but if you would have told me like 6 to 12 months ago that staking wasn't a good enough incentive for people to hold on to the token, excuse me, and that there'd be something greater going on, I would have said you're crazy. But like staking is another way for people to just hold on to coins and remove supply from order books, remove sell side, that sort of thing. But if, if you're upstairs and there's a party going on downstairs, you want to go to that party, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think they even made some announcements about their uh, whatever they're going to DeFi themselves. You got this Tezos chart up. I mean, that looks nothing like the rest of this ecosystem, does it?
No, it doesn't. Not at all. It's been kind of straight down. It hit that target, nearly 50% down. It hit like some weird cup and handle target that I had drawn, and it just got heavily rejected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have the answer for those folks. I mean, they have tons of money, tons of developers, and they're building empty cathedrals, like we've mentioned many times. I think we even had an episode about it. Because unless you can draw the activity there, then you can have a super scalable chain that nobody's on, like tons of blocks with nothing in there.
Like EOS.
Yeah. And
It's so at least ADA like revisited highs, but EOS hasn't revisited highs. I don't think ADA has either, although it exploded kind of unlike everything else. Oh, I guess it has. But the ADA BTC chart looks like devastation. I mean, that is
yeah, how do they ever get back to like what they priced in from a potential perspective back in the hype?
like look at this. Again, another like 40 to 50% down from highs just over the past few weeks. And to me, this is all people just selling their staked coins. At least that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, probably
What
so.
do I
And
know?
people that are you're looking at it from a pure opportunity cost standpoint and saying like, well, why am I in this when there's this other stuff going on?
Yeah, I agree.
Stuff that's a lot shinier.
Although it's Ponzi adjacent or Ponzi approved,
Yeah,
Joe Schmo doesn't care.
yeah. I think that we have despite all of this stuff, we're still not seeing like you're not getting phone calls from friends about crypto yet, are you? Like,
I actually am.
are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably the past 2 weeks.
See, I'm not getting much of that kind of thing yet. Whereas my family does talk about stocks when they get together, and that's the first time that's happened in a long time. So there's a lot of top things maybe in the broader market, but I'm not getting like crypto top things. I think retail got so burned in 2017, 2018 that it's going to take something serious to get them intrigued enough to come back in.
You mean the UBI airdrop? The Uni UBI wasn't enough.
Well, they didn't get that, they just, maybe they'll hear about it, like this type of activity type of thing that could get out there. I just saw Sang Luki, who he keeps an eye on crypto, but he's more of a legacy trader, and he just was tweeting like, I want the 50x uni short. So he's seeing it from a price perspective. How could you not when something goes up 100 something percent in 24 hours?
Yeah, the fact that it got listed everywhere too, and it's still increasing.
Yep.
Super interesting.
Got listed. It's up 235% off of whatever the local low was after it got listed. If you bought it at 230, I mean, this is tough to ignore.
Do you think that Uniswap's going to be acquired by somebody?
If Coinbase or someone like that with enough money to do it was smart, then I think the underlying company should be. My question is, why would they need to be?
Right. Well, that was my next point. Like, what is actually acquirable besides the network?
And is it really? I mean, they have a lot of money now.
Yeah.
Now it's locked for a while, but at this valuation, at this network usage, all that kind of stuff, they can raise as much money as they want on the premise that the equity of the company that builds out that protocol is going to be valuable for a long time.
Yeah. I think it's going to get real messy.
Yeah, dude, this is full short squeeze situation going on right now. Like, I've been looking at the open interest on derivatives. I think they're hedging, they're pooling, and they didn't expect this because the open interest is about $35 million between Binance and FTX derivatives, at least on these top pairs that CoinGecko is showing. It may be more than that. And the funding is about 1%. So, oops. You're being paid to long this right now. So many people are hedging it short, probably because they're pooling. What was it? 300 million average between 4 pools. So there's $1 billion, let's say, pooling this. And people are hedging this current valuation for Uni, and it just keeps going up because the difference between FTX's price and Binance's price right now is like 30 cents, which is 30 cents on 780.
It's huge.
That's like several percentage points,
Yeah.
So there's massive amounts of selling occurring, people trying to lock it in. So they're either going to have to pull in a whole bunch of collateral to lock in these high prices, or they're going to have to capitulate. Either way, this is just a parabolic launch day short squeeze from heaven if you're long. Like, this is life-changing. Like, say you're in a small economy country, like, you're just wilding out right now.
Yeah, I mean, I saw people from the US saying like they're getting decent sized houses airdropped to them. But I agree with you. Like, people in like sub-Saharan Africa or anywhere, who just happen to be providing liquidity on Uniswap. I don't know how many of those people exist, but if they do, like, wow, just definitely life-changing.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I think that component of it, I'm always going to root for that,
Oh, for sure. And something else that the pressure of DEXs now will do to centralized exchanges is hopefully improve user experience, improve UI, improve just everything in general.
Yeah.
Ideally, that's what we see happen out of this, if nothing else.
Yeah, they're going to have to make a compelling reason to trade there instead of on a DEX. All right, Josh, I think we should leave it there. This was the Uniswap episode. We'll be on the Twitch stream for a minute here to answer some questions. If y'all want to follow along with things that we're doing, Josh and I have both been putting out tons of stuff on YouTube. I begged the people to subscribe today to get me over 4,000 subscribers, and we did it. But you know what? I I want subscriber price action to mirror Uni price action. So let's go for 10,000 subscribers. What do you say? And then Carpe Noctem on YouTube as well. The place to go. Josh has you covered with some outstanding content. And I want to say thank you again to our brand new sponsor, Matcha. Go to ledgerstatus.com/matcha. That's match A, MATCHA. Ledgerstatus.com/matcha to check out everything that they offer, which is, as Josh mentioned, stupid proofing, decentralized trading with high liquidity, aggregated market, so you don't have to know which swap is the king swap for that coin. You just go there. You buy, you do your thing. It works really well. I've been using it. Thanks so much to Matcha for hopping on board as our partner. With that, we will talk to everybody next time. Thanks for being here. Subscribe, rate us, iTunes, all the good stuff. See you later.
Monuments crumble in the blink of an eye. The easy river has just run dry. In a house of cards, I feel the breeze wound so tight I can